Ice Destiny leading the charge for the team. Of course, two names highly associated with the local pro scene in Singapore.
Well, I'm currently from TP, so
Oh man, here we go, grudge match.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Looking at the picks and bans we've jumped in. It's the Yasuo banned out and Aurelion response. Epistemology not gonna get that Yasuo today. Jason responds as well. So, not to mention, I mean, overall, TP, there are some relatively familiar names. Epistemology and Iron Nitrogen are both players that I've seen in the semi or pro M scene here.
Alright, well, I think we're just not going to see any Irelia today. She just keeps getting banned out. On the other side, though, we do see the Renekton very dominant today.
Ooh, 9.14 Renekton banned out. For those of you who don't know, the changes to Renekton on his W is ridiculous, and I think is a huge spike in power level. So banning that out is a thumbs up move. If you don't know how to deal with it, just remove it from the board. Don't have to think about it all too much.
Yep, opens up the top lane pool to become much wider now. I think when you play against a Renekton, you have to be very mindful because he's a very lane-focused laner. You don't want to give him too many kills so that he can pop off. Removing him allows you to, you know, pick something more for scaling, something you can go aggressive with. Maybe you can win that lane and snowball it for yourself.
Now we should touch on the Karthus ban here from TP. Krex, the jungler has not been known to play Karthus, so this is like a limiting pool. I don't think Ice Destiny has played all too much Karthus actually, so this is an interesting thing coming in. It's almost like an adaptation, right?
Krax actually played Karthus last game.
Oh, right, okay.
They lost against ITE West.
So he didn't play well.
Yeah. Well, Karthus either way not really a very meta jungler right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Maybe they know something we don't. I don't know.
So Johnny locked in. This is actually Ice Destiny special, so removing that from the jungler of SP is gonna be paramount here as they look for the next pick. Varus! Early lock-in on the Varus, in fact. I don't like this, signaling so early that they want to immobile ADC. Because in the next round of picks and bans, you either have to take the Tahm Kenshi or the Braum, something defensive to keep the AD carry from TP safe.
Alright, well, if you're gonna... Is that the mid laner? It's
yeah,
maybe.
Nico is decent here.
Well, if you're gonna play Aatrox, I think Nico is a good pick into her.
Right.
Into him. But Aatrox right now, I said at the top of the day that we might not see Aatrox, but so far today on our stream we've seen 100% presence on him, so
yeah.
I think I just cursed it.
Vladimir will be the last pick here for TP in this first round. Both Nico and Vladimir are decent picks into Aatrox, and they both function as flex picks, so there's some sort of similarity there. TP now hovering and thinking about what they want to ban out next. I think you go for the AD carry pool here. You target out things like Ezreal, things like Ashe. It's going to give the Varus a problematic time in the lane. Of course, there are still the favorites available on the table for SP.
Yeah, I think limiting the AD
Kai'Sa,
carry pool is like the best course of action that you can take right now.
Looking for the next ban here, response. I think SP have to ban out. Definitely have to target ban out the safe supports, right? You don't want TP, you don't want to give TP access to the options of Tahm Kench. You don't want to give them things like the Braum that can protect the Varus. Lux is another good example that can keep the Varus safe. So you want to remove that from the pool and hopefully, you know, make it a point of weakness, a pressure point that you can exploit when it comes to laning.
Real question here is whether if Tahm Kench, even if Tahm Kench is left out, do you want to pick him? Because with the recent changes, Tahm Kench has actually seen quite a decent drop in win rate in solo queue.
I think the utility of the champion, like overall use of Tahm Kench is still there. You can still go summon a spellbook and provide a lot of presence for your team in terms of what you can achieve. He still functions as a catch-all safety support. Regardless of situation, he's going to be able to keep the AD carry safe for at least 5 seconds, no matter how bad he plays or how bad he gets caught out.
Well, I think the basic idea is there you'd want to, you know, protect the Varus. Varus wants to sit in the back and do damage. Of course, he's not going to be dashing into the front line like Kai'Sa does. So, yeah, really interested to see what they pick up. Maybe they do go with the Tahm Kench. Maybe they go with the Braum. I think Braum's also pretty good here.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Braum is amazing here, but then you are liable to play into the Braum versus Karma matchup, which is terrible, right? Terrible for melee AD carries. Melee supports rather, and Braum is no exception. So it's going to be the Tahm Kench here for Varus as the bot duo sets in for TP.
Alright, Enner, what is he going to pick? The Lucian maybe? I think It's one of the better picks right now.
So if you have Karma support here, assume it's Karma support. You can play a very poke-centric bot lane with Ezreal, but if it's a Karma mid lane or top lane, then you can start to consider the possibility. Oh no, it's definitely going to be a Karma support. Yeah.
Caitlyn comes to mind.
Yes, Caitlyn, Ezreal. Definitely not Xayah. It's not something I want to see here. Yeah, but definitely the two options here being Caitlyn and Ezreal. Oh man, what do you guys gotta do this to me?
Alright.
So the reason I said definitely not Xayah is because I knew that Enron would have gone for that. It's one of his favorite champions. But the reason I don't like this is because there is almost a negative synergy between Xayah and Karma when it comes to the lane, because they both do line damage. And if you're both doing line damage, it makes it very easy for the opposition to just spread out space against you. By spacing against one, you're spacing against the other.
Well, it's still a pretty good bot lane later on. Like, I think Karma can pretty much facilitate a team fight for the Xayah, like set it up so that Xayah can go in and deal tons of damage, I guess.
The Karma here is definitely more of a utility pick. They want the Empowered Shield to get the Aatrox, to get the Cannon and the Sylas into the fight. So it's more of a team fight oriented pick as opposed to a lane pick.
Well, let's take a look at the mid lane here. I think Aatrox into Neeko. Neeko already was one of the counter picks that we've seen here in Campus Legends into the Aatrox. With the Aatrox nerfs, I think we've harped on this quite a lot.
Oh yeah.
Neeko's just going to be so much better, really.
You go for Glacial Man, you steamroll him in the mid lane. Aatrox is going to be 50% HP all the time in the lane.
Yep. If I'm not wrong, Aatrox today, 0% win rate so far we've seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen a winning Aatrox today, I think. And well, at least on stream. Off stream, there've been a couple of Aatrox victories. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it's a comfort pick. These guys think they can do something with him, so all the power to them, I guess.
The concern here is that because there is no more revive on Aatrox, I think TP's frontline is pretty much reduced to instantaneous short span burst damage, right? You have Aatrox and Cannon jump in within 7 seconds. Either they kill someone and win the fight, or they're done, because there is no real frontline after that. Whereas TP, you have Sejuani, you have Vladimir, a lot of sustained frontline that you can progress and fight front to back with.
So basically, SV doesn't have a tank.
They don't have a tank and they don't have a way to win prolonged fights. They either pick someone off or they burst someone down and they win the fight from there with the man advantage. If they use a big ticket ultimate like, you know, Cannon's Slicing Maelstrom, or they use the Aatrox ultimate to find a pick, if they don't get at least 2 kills, TP can actually turn the fight around.
Yeah, but that does rely on, you know, them going sort of even, or maybe even TP finding an advantage, because I think we've seen already Sejuani doesn't really do that well when we're behind.
Yeah, that's a sticky situation, and it's going to be up to Krex to find these small advantages, the crevices you can gain leads from. Ice Destiny, one of the, I wouldn't say premier junglers, but definitely one of the more experienced one in the local scenes. He has a good head on his shoulders and understands how to path properly. I've never seen him play Sylas before though. He's never really struck me as a non-tank player, right? So historically, I've always referred to Ice as the tank jungler. A lot of Zac, a lot of Sejuani, a lot of Jarvan, and even when he does Jarvan, he does Cinderhawk Jarvan.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's one of those players that arrives to counter gang as opposed to actively hit the lanes like Shinsekai does.
Well, busting something out, I guess. Maybe trying to surprise TP, surprise us, surprise the viewers. Who knows? I don't know. It's like a scrim really at this point.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what he picks up. And both sides have their fair share of mechanical monsters. There are people that can hit the right notes and hit the right punches. So we'll have to see how this pans out as we jump into the game soon. Predictions? I mean, compositional wise, I like TP, but my heart is like, you know, support SP.
You told me SP, so I'm like, my brain is saying SP because trust hungry, innit?
Alright.
But my heart is telling me TP as well, so.
I've been just looking at the draft, right? I like TP's draft a bit more than I do SP's. They have, this is like what you see in the LCK draft. Yeah. This is a comfortable pro level draft. SP, compared to SP's draft, SP has a bit more comfort picks here and there. The NT synergy is still pretty present in some of the lanes. So I think overall, just on the basis of merit of draft, it's TP for me.
Alright, well, let's talk a bit about win conditions then. SP, like you said, we cannot win prolonged fights. Maybe they want to look for an advantage early game. Go for a pick composition maybe. Try to single TP out, maybe just try to find advantages that way.
Yeah, they definitely have to look for that.
Yep. Meanwhile, TP, they just want to scale and go for late game really.
I mean, there are tools for TP to negate the pick, which is why you have the Tahm Kench, right? Which is so important. I think that SP might have neglected to ban out the Tahm Kench if they wanted to play his composition, because if you focus on anyone looking to get a kill and Tahm Kench is in the right position, in this case, you know, he didn't go for the Summoner Spellbook, so no cleanse available. But if he had, it makes it so easy for him to instant cleanse, pick someone out, and then whatever damage you did is just negated. They can rejoin the fight afterwards by both just backing off and resetting.
Yep, so I think we just really have to pay attention to Tahm Kench, how he uses his Devour, and how he manages to keep very safe.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at the best Tahm Kench players in the world, one of them being, I think, from NA Core JJ, one of the best Tahm Kench players in the world. The way you use your Devour and how you sort of kite around the damage and understand the limits of the champion is so important.
But I think one thing you're forgetting is Tahm Kench is really a Korean pick. You say it's like Core JJ is from NA, yeah? But
yeah.
A Korean
He's inherently
import,
Korean, right, in the heart.
Even if you look at EU, what are the best Tahm Kench players of like Gorilla and Ignar?
Oof, yeah. So it's inherently Korean. Right here, we have to see if DLE can put up his best Korean impression. Hold on here, Ice Destiny will get spotted out as he journeys into the jungle. That has been a pretty standard ward now in the recent patches, especially after the changes to Scuttle Crab, and that was like, what, 3 patches ago?
Yeah.
The ward on the Raptors gives so much information early on.
One contrast I want to draw attention to is back during qualifiers, right? We saw a lot of attempted invades. Now in group stages, I think the pressure has gone up slightly. So the teams don't really want to look for those kind of invades.
That's a good observation, actually. Now we don't see as much cheese picks, as much nonsensical level 1 cheeses that we had in the previous couple of weeks. The stakes are starting to rise, and I think all the teams in this stage of the tournament are starting to feel it.
Right.
Standard start here from the jungle of TP. You can see Cracks on the red buff getting some assistance from Kiwi. Meanwhile, Ice Destiny is going to go with a no-leash level 1 wolf start here as he looks to claim the large wolf. Having a bit of trouble. But nevertheless, we'll be able to deal with it. Hold on. You can see the cheese coming from Epistemology. He's starting as a Varus, but he's not fooling anyone in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing you can do with the Nico though. If you build the same as your AD carry, the animations for your auto attack actually are pretty much similar. So it's just another layer that that adds on to the mind games that the Nico can play.
What's interesting is that the Nico auto attack is much quicker actually. It's a bit almost instantaneous, right, for Epistemology. So swapping to the Varus model is actually a bit of a disadvantage. But being a range versus melee matchup, he doesn't care. He's just taking his time to pressure out Shera on this Aatrox.
Yeah, Shera probably not gonna have too great a time here. That's the prediction anyway. Meanwhile, top lane, range versus ranged. I don't think this is pretty much a safe lane. I don't think either of these players are really gonna go for much of an engage without jungler presence.
It should just be a farm lane. Try to get some klepto stacks if you are the Kennen, and if you are the Vladimir, we'll try to survive to the late game stage, right? No damage coming in from the Darkened Blade here, and the Infernal Chains as well. We'll pull him back in. Given there is a Kleptomancy cannon on the top side, this indicates to me there should be an AP cannon. Meanwhile, Krex coming in from the back is going to get not spotted out as he flanks in with the Arctic Assault. Is going to find the Karma. A lot of damage down. Will use the flash to get out of the CC range, and good damage thrown back onto Krex, but Devour will sustain most of it out. Meanwhile, Shera getting damage down onto Epistemology in the mid lane, has to use the Corrupting Potion to keep healthy. Ice Destiny is going to claim the Scuttle Crab and walk over to the Raptors and steal that away from himself.
Yeah, that's what Sejuani gives up for showing himself in the bot lane, so Ice Destiny just goes into his top side.
Oh, good amount of damage down to Epistemology there in the mid lane. The chains have been doing a good deal of work for Shera as he lands the Darkened Blade.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about that gank from Sejuani. I think that was pretty good. That's what we want to see from a Sejuani. You have the damage early, you should go look for those advantages. Admittedly, you didn't really get much. A flash is a flash, but that's a Karma. She doesn't really need it at this point in the game.
The good news is he can definitely re-gank that bot lane. Karma, as she looks to poke, she's going to be pushing the wave up. So it's going to be a bit tricky for them to deal with this constantly shoved up wave, right? iNitrogen has a bit more control of the wave himself, considering he can just auto attack down. Krex here is going to get spotted out by a ward in the river as he journeys in. 4.5 minutes, red buff is still up. SP has made no moves to claim this, and Shara here is going to get spotted out as he walks over to ward it out. Krex is just going to recall here.
Yep, contrast this to the previous few games that we've seen is really more of a standard start. Neither team really going for that kind of high-risk engage plays. They don't really want to look for their fights. I think they both are just content with farming. But like we alluded to earlier, TP actually advantages from this quite a lot.
Just by staying relevant in terms of goal and in scaling up, advantage to TP for sure. Take a look at the minimap. It's a Mountain Dragon that is the first on the table, and I think both teams will look at it with open eyes and dilated pupils because that's a massive objective that they want to claim for themselves.
It's not as good as a Ocean or Infernal at this point, but Mountain's still okay. If you can find those fights, you can push down the turrets pretty quick.
I mean, as a fan of macro League of Legends, Mountain Dragon is always good. It becomes a win condition when you manage to secure double Mountain Dragon, because now a composition that has no business taking Baron buff and Sieging can actually do it with pretty good efficiency.
Of course, I'm just saying one Mountain Dragon at like 6 minutes into the game isn't really gonna do you many favors as compared to maybe an Ocean.
Ocean, yeah. Ocean at 6 is good. You just stay in lane forever.
Yeah.
Level 6 has been hit on this mid lane Aatrox, and he can look to go for the all-in if he wants to. You can see Ice Destiny gesturing around this mid lane. You know, Epistemology about a wave away. I say that, he's just hit level 6 on his own.
Both junglers are hovering around the mid lane. They might look for something.
Oh, he's going to get spotted out with the clone there. Great
clone.
Use of that W from Epistemology to find a gank coming in. But meanwhile, Ice Destiny has been getting some good advantages over Krex. You can see CS-wise, he's about 4 camps ahead of Krex.
Yep, and he was actually pinged out earlier. Ooh, fight.
Fight in the bot lane. Enner is going to get stunned up. The stun from Chiffon in response as well. Enner having to flash away from the piercing arrows. A good kite coming in from the bot lane of SP, microing that out pretty well. No heal available from Enner because he did take the teleport. So overall, still a summer spells blown once more from Krex in the bot lane.
Oh, that's a flash that you want. It's on the Xayah, pretty good. But again, when Krex is at the bot lane, you know what that means. Sylas is gonna go steal his top jungle.
Oh yeah, he loses the top camps, but guess what? He's gonna get the dragon for himself. I think this is a pretty decent trade if you are TP because you are looking to scale into the late game, right?
Yeah, that's
Double
good.
Mountain equals Baron equals win game.
Real thing I want to notice here, draw attention to is Krex. He's been looking at the bot lane a lot. If he keeps doing that, he forces a flash every time. If he keeps doing that and maybe he's able to find a little bit more, the fact that they already have a mountain is going to put a lot of pressure on those turret plates in the bot lane.
Yeah. And it's just only going to get worse at level 6 because you can do tricky gang paths like Abyssal Voyage with the Tahm Kench in.
Oh yeah.
You could start fights with Chains of Corruption to layer on the CC. There's so many tools that Krex can use to activate action in the bot lane. So it's going to be up to TP to make it happen. Whether they can layer that is a completely other issue. We can see it conceptually. Execution-wise might be a big question mark as well.
Yeah, I mean, hypotheticals aren't really that not something I really like to talk about, but
Yeah.
there's definitely something we can look forward to. This bot lane, I think it's safe to say we can classify it's high risk.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right now, you know who's high risk? Krex in the jungle, level 6 versus level 6. He's gonna get spotted out by the ward, but Ice Destiny is like, you know what, I'll let you get away for now. Wait until my Aatrox comes and they're gonna find Krex in the jungle. He has to flash away early. Chilling Smite to get additional movement speed out, and I think a bit of a mistake in terms of layering the CC right there.
Yep, they definitely could have done better, but you look at the wards that they did press into TP's jungle. I think those are the kind of deep wards that you really want. Gives you the intelligence to know where the enemy jungler is and make plays based on that. Or even, like you said, like you saw, engage on the enemy jungler, even though the execution there wasn't the best.
Still, they burn the flash off the TP jungler, and this buys them a small space, a small window, if you will. freedom to use and play more aggressively right now. The focus is on the Scuttle Crab, and it's going to be claimed by Krex now. They're turning their attention over onto Ice Destiny, who's taking a boatload of damage. First Blood will go the way of Iron Nitrogen as he gets focused down, but the Devour is going to keep him alive. Here comes the Pop Blossom, but it's not going to catch anyone out. Epistemology now will be focused down by Chiffon. A reverse teleport coming in from Kiwi, or not Kiwi rather, or Sherwin on the top side, but it's not really going to do all too much, as SP will come up better for that trade. 2-1, a kill going to a bot laners each a piece.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty questionable engage from the Nico. I mean, he tried to answer, but unfortunately his positioning was a little bit off and he just got collapsed on.
And the thing about Pop Blossom people don't often underlook is that if you completely whiff, there is a span of 2-3 seconds where you're stuck there in the animation. That's so much time that the opponents will use to punish you for that.
The fact that he used Flash to get the position as well and hit nothing.
Yeah.
Right, we said Nico should win the mid lane matchup, but Caster Curse, obviously he doesn't now.
Yeah, CS-wise, he's down 20 against Shera, who will be very confident in this lane. In fact, looking to go for some CDR first as he looks to push this wave out. Epistemology stuck with the Lost Chapter, needs the mana regen, and speaking of which, he will claim the blue buff for himself.
Yep, credit over to Shera, of course. I mean, if he's able to not only go even, but find an advantage in this lane, that's definitely something you have to be mindful of.
Yeah, look at the way he's trading. He has no fear whatsoever, just walking up using the Qs to get the wave damage down and counter this shove in. Meanwhile, here comes Krex in the bottom side. He's not going to get spotted out. You can see there is a pink ward which allows him access to the bottom lane.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Chiffon now is probably going to check this. Oh man, the ward is going to spot him out. Meanwhile, Shera walking down the bottom side will find a bit of a skirmish against Epistemology in the lane. Now they're still sitting here and Krex has to back off.
Yep, I mean, I was just going to say it's still pretty standard. I think both teams, the deficit for TP right now is not insurmountable by any means, really. It's still pretty much coin flip, depends on who gets the better of the other in the upcoming fights to really decide where this early game is going.
Yeah, gold lead is what? 200-300 gold? Doesn't really matter. It's almost a non-factor at this point. And speaking of which, Chains of Corruption has been stolen by Ice Destiny. He's getting focused down, a lot of damage down. Enner gets the kill credit, and now they're turning their sights onto the Tahm Kench, who has to waddle away. Backup is here though, and it's only a single Sejuani. There are pincered between the enemies here, and Shera comes in for the backup. They might just find a Sejuani off the back. No, the Featherstone Blade Caller, not enough to get the CC down, but Ice Destiny is still chasing. The Kingslayer does exactly that as it falls Sejuani, and now Epistemology, the next target. Flash isn't available for Shera for the last Q, but he will be able to chunk out the the Nico.
Yeah, you saw the Aatrox was already pathing down, but yet the Sejuani did try to go in and save the Tahm Kench. Obviously not going to be very successful at doing that if you're going to get collapsed on from both sides and you're both at 50% health.
You can see the consistent lane priority gained by Shera in the mid lane starting to pay off.
Yep.
His ability to clear the wave and poke and harass out Epistemology was what gave them the advantage over there.
Yeah, and now they do get the Ocean Dragon as well. I think it's safe to say that this early part of the game, advantage SP.
Looking super dominant, 12.5. We're almost 13 minutes in as they proceed forward with a 2,400 gold lead. Topside hasn't really, seen much action, but this is what we expected, right? Kiwi's just looking to scale up. Sherwin just wants his Klepto procs.
Ooh.
But this Vladimir with the needlessly large rod as well as a good amount of CDR. In fact, he's at 20-30% CDR. Starting to make a dent in the health bar of Sherwin.
Yep, starting to build up that damage. You can see that he's already had 2 turret plating. That's actually quite a bit of an advantage at 13 minutes. So I think you're leaving him there to do what he does is best for TP. Maybe SP wants to send Ice Destiny up there to answer it.
Ice now has to decide where he wants to go because he's just farming the waves up. Observers kindly showing us the goal lead picked up by respective members of both teams, and it looks like in the top side lead to the Vladimir. Hold on here, a lot of action happening here on the bottom side. Enner taking the trade against Iron Nitrogen. You might just find the solo kill. No, they will get the kill out and the reclaimed counter kill across onto Xayah. A bit of a mistake there, I think, by Iron Nitrogen, just walking up and taking the 1v1.
Yep, Gives a shutdown gold over to TP. Maybe they can do something with it, but we see another collapse.
Another collapse on the bottom side here, flashing forward in fact, and here comes Shera. He has the ultimate, but remember there's no revive. He's stuck in the air. A great stopwatch to buy some space. I don't think he's gonna live through this though. As just as I say that, they will find a kill on him. And now Ice Destiny backing off, resetting the aggro. They look like they want to have boar meat for dinner, but his turret might just be enough for them as they claim it and walk out.
Yeah, that's a first turret, but you know, going to be answered here by Kiwi. Nico in the mid lane also putting down a lot of damage onto the turret. Not going to be able to pick it up though.
What would work here for TP is if they could collect 2 turret bounties. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case as we see Ener just walking back in to clear the wave out.
Maybe.
He might have to stay around a bit more than he's comfortable with. Yeah, it's not going to risk it, just going to back off.
You know, I would have stayed, but that's why they're playing there and I'm here.
Fair enough. Now they've transitioned over to the mid side. Ener and Chiffon's going to be the 2 individuals responsible for clearing the wave out against Epistemology. Remember, this is a Xayah that has Essence Reaver completed, so she's at a very decent power point when it comes to clearing the waves out.
Yep, very good lane swap from SP though. They know that they already taken the bot lane tower. There's not much for them to get there, so they send the cannon net to wave clear, and they send their bot lane to mid lane.
And this opens up 2 things. It opens up mid tier 1
Yep.
in terms of defense. It opens up Rift Herald as well. You can see a good amount of control being placed around this Rift Herald. And both of these top laners, pseudo top laners, have teleport available.
Yeah, I mean when you do that kind of we see. Oh no, okay, well.
He's just hoarding the ultimate. Oh, hold on here. Kiwi going for the all-in onto Sherwin. The Hemoplague is going to take, but the stopwatch, it will negate the damage. He's charging up the E and the Q, and no stuns available here coming in from Sherwin.
Yep, that's Vladimir damage starting to build up pretty high.
No respect from the Spellbinder coming in. Kiwi getting the solo kill, but in response, SP looking like they want to take this Rift Herald out. Look at the flank coming in from Epistemology. A big Pop Blossom might be just what they need, but a lot of damage down onto him already by Shera. Now they're turning their sights onto the Rift Herald. It's going to reset across. Here comes the teleport. Looks like a big fight, but it's going to be stolen away by TP. TP get the Rift Herald. Now they're taking the fight. The Tahm Kench getting the first kill now. The second is going to be going towards the retreating party. SP not looking like they want to take this fight after losing 2 things. A kill and a massive objective.
Yep, pretty good from TP to come in back and try to regain their disadvantage. But I think one thing that SP could have done there was TP was slow to the rotation. They could have just gone for the top tower instead of going for that tempo sync in the Rift Herald. That's one thing that I always dislike seeing teams do.
Right.
When you have another advantage, you should press that instead of Rift Herald. You're giving up a lot of tempo that can be spent somewhere else.
And when you're saying tempo, you're referring to the idea of, you know, sitting around, trying to siege the objective, letting your opponents set up against you, and take these massive fights, which, credit to TP, positioned well, got the right angles, and found a great fight.
Right, now, I think both teams are just resetting. Next objective on the map is the dragon. Can we see what it is?
It's going to be up in a minute. It's going to be another ocean, in fact. It's going to be up in 20 seconds. Tell a lie.
That's not the best right now anyway.
But it is a place, or at least a situation where if SP set up properly, they can still find a fight if they want to. TP here will be forced to react. They don't have the Glacial Prison available. They don't have the Chains of Corruption just yet. So they have less resources than they're comfortable with.
The question is though whether or not SP thinks that an Ocean Drake is worth the risk.
Apparently so, because Iron Nitrogen is teleporting in here. They want to claim this with 5 members strong, and they're going to give top tier 1 away. So this is a trade in terms of objectives, but like you said once more, it's a bit of a tempo sync.
Yeah. But yeah, now SP. Wait. Oh, I'm actually getting confused between them. Actually. But yeah, TP was actually just about to break even with SP. After taking the dragon though, missing a few waves, and Aatrox taking the top tower, that gold lead is back up to about 1k.
Not a massive lead here in terms of gold, like you mentioned, only 1k, but here comes Shera looking to get the steal, the cheeky steal away on the rip buff, but Iron Nitrogen is going to secure it for himself. Krex here just waiting off the side, looking like he wants to go toe-to-toe with Iron Destiny. Mid tier 1 getting sieged down, Nitrogen trying to clear the wave out. He doesn't have the support of his teammates. You can look on the minimap. Tahm Kench is nowhere near this, so I don't think they can mount a defense. It's going to fall eventually, and mid tier 1 goes the way of SP. Turret counts turret counts are all even right now. So gold lead is pretty much only in favor of SP.
Yeah, SP again, they're having pretty good. They do have pretty good macro. I think they have been much quicker to rotations than TP have, and they found quite a bit of advantage from doing that.
And this does seem to me like, oh, hold on, your mid lane Tahm Kench is definitely gonna die here. There's nothing much. Oh man, even a failed flash. That is a fuse bad. Should have just taken the unfortunate circumstance and died right there, but no, burning the flash.
That's a bit of a tilter in it. Well, that just gives SP a bit more advantage here. I think the game has been pretty even so far. It still is the most even game we've seen today.
Right.
But I think SP is slightly ahead, and if they don't make any mistakes, they, you know, could build on that.
Yeah, it's a late game composition. They're still in a position to fight this one out. Kiwi and Shara going toe to toe using the Hemo Plague, and the Phase Rush has been popped. He's using the Sanguine Pool is still available. He hasn't really gone in yet. A lot of damage from Shara. Will be able to finish this one off with the auto. Jesus. Where did that damage come from with the World Ender? Didn't even expect it out of the blue.
The damage came from Shara landing all of those Qs.
Out, Iron Nitrogen gonna get soloed out. Just another day in the office for Ice Destiny. Conqueror procs more than enough to finish him off.
I want to continue that flaw, pointing out Shara that he has been very accurate on these Qs, knocking people up, like you see
Oh,
on the Tahm
man.
Kench now. Oh boy.
Someone call the police because this Tahm Kench is under arrest, getting caught out in the jungle. No space to move, no allowance whatsoever, and I think SP, we might have cursed it a bit because they've broken the game wide open.
I gotta tell you, this Tahm Kench is not having a great day. He died, respawned,
Yeah.
walked out.
That's
and
the
died
solo
again.
kill special. Baron buff is being started up by 3 members right now, while the other 2 are just dissuading this Pop Blossom in response to the slicing Maelstrom, but it might not be enough using the GLP to try and kite away, but the Shurikens will do the damage and confirm the kill, and the Baron as well. SP, 5 members with Baron buff, good 5,000 gold lead as well. Starting to go a bit sideways here for TP.
Yeah, TP's not having a great game. I think with what we've seen so far, I don't think they're going to be able to defend their tier 2 towers very well either. I think SP, again, are quicker on the rotation. They will be quicker on the rotation. Going forth, even now, they have the Baron buff.
I like that you were talking about rotations because every time I watch Ice Destiny play, he's extremely vocal. Every time I cast his games, he's super vocal. And I can bet you right now he's the one shot calling everything, right? He's the one making the decisions for his team, saying, okay, we can move this way, confirm our vision is cleared out, we can sneak the Baron away, we can control this area and move into the objectives to get inside track. All these are trademark Ice Destiny calls. And I think it's starting to show here as well.
200 IQ, big galaxy brain boy.
Oh man, this is a 10 IQ play walking in with 3 members, using the stopwatch to buy some space, flashing out Ice Destiny. Will not get caught out, in fact, still dashing away from the last piercing arrow. A bit of a tilted there, but meanwhile Epistemology here is going to find a 1v1 against Shara. Abyssal Voyage hijacked and used to get the kill is just the icing on top of the cake.
It's a Kench, man. I mean, you gotta feel for the guy.
This extremely tilted? Would you
Extremely
consider, would you
tilted.
classify this as extremely tilted?
I'd be extremely tilted.
They need a mental reset, man. They're trying so hard. Krex is now trying to get the solo kill into Ice Destiny. Might not be enough because the knockups are more than available. Oh man, this is a 2v3. Come on, guys.
We've seen this more than once. It goes sort of equal in the early game, but then as the game goes on, one team starts to get an advantage. The other team's like, oh my god, we have to get back into this game. So they tried these desperate plays, and they all keep falling flat on their faces because at this point they are just mental boom, and they can't execute it very, very well. TP's doing this right now. They keep throwing their face at the wall and hoping something sticks. What they have to do, they have to sit back, they have to reset both mentally and in the game.
Right.
And hopefully they try to capitalize on some of the mistakes that SP are making.
I'm a bit concerned because you mentioned, you know, resetting.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You mentioned resetting and getting to the late game stage. Is it too late now for TP though?
Is it too late for TP? I mean,
The goal lead has climbed to 7,000. Observer is showing us that in terms of the laners, there is a close to 3k lead in terms of mid as well as support. Mid and AD carry rather. So that is quite a sizable chunk of change.
I mean, your Nico right now is not going to do any damage. She has to be there for utility, and I think he knows that with the Twin Shadows, Spooky Ghosts, and the
GLP.
GLP, yeah. What you want to do right now is you want to go with the Vladimir. That's your win condition right now. You're not going to do much damage with anyone else. And most importantly, though, Tahm Kench has to stop dying.
Oh, yeah, I think that is number one on the docket. To-do list, number one, Tahm Kench stop inting. Number two, play around the Vladimir. Maybe that's the best way forward. As speaking of playing around the Vladimir, he's going to get caught out in the jungle. Great sidestep on the Escona Duck, using the phase rush to run away. Nevertheless, though, enough sticking power from the rest of the team to keep on to this Vladimir, who will Hemoplague away. And the rest of the team coming in, but they're going to lose the turret on the top side.
Yep, Vladimir is pretty... oh my. Is pretty slippery, but slippery doesn't really matter when the cannon is just whacking away your inhibitor with no one to stop him.
Yeah, even using the Lightning Rush just for the after effect. So for those of you that don't know, if you use Lightning Rush and it finishes, you get a 30, 40, 50% a scaling attack speed bonus, right? So he uses it for like 2 seconds to get the attack speed bonus, and hold on, I'm just going to hold on to my fun fact as the engage is going to fall upon Chiffon, the support of SP. The rest of the team will turn their sights onto the mid lane of TP Epistemology. Now the fight is split on 2 fronts, but Epistemology is going to fall instantly. Ice Destiny though, overcommitting into the front line. Ender now is the next target. Kiwi leading the charge for his team. They're going to find a kill onto the jungler. Ice Destiny will fall eventually, and here comes Shara to join the fight. Nitrogen will fall instantly as well. Jesus, a double kill coming in. The moment the Aatrox comes in, is just a whole different fight.
Look, that fight, even though TP was managed,
It was the best case scenario.
Sorta. I mean, like, okay, it was a 5v4 at the start. Aatrox actually got bot lane turret during the start of that fight. Even though TP managed to get those kills, what they had to do was know that Aatrox coming after that turret fell, back off, and don't give them the opportunity to take back the kills.
Now, because of all the deaths, because of all the disadvantages, they're gonna lose the bot inhibitor turret and nothing else to speak of. This is the moment where SP resets, spends all their gold, go shopping, maybe pop into the warehouse to pick up a couple more items.
Yeah, I mean SP right now, I think you asked earlier if it was insurmountable. I think this is the point where it becomes insurmountable.
Oh really? 9k goal lead at 26 minutes? That's the point?
Look, I might be a little bit biased here, but hear me out.
Okay.
I think once you lose the inhibitor and you're this far behind, you really... the pressure is gone. You just... well, it's gone... well, how do I put this? Well, the pressure turns up for TP, but it's gone for SP. SP just really has to play it slow. If they pick up the Baron, that should be a win, really.
And Baron will be the next objective here. You can see it's going to be spawning soon. Bot lane being open is kind of tricky though, because this means that Cannon can just play on the bot side, look for the inhibitor, and if you collapse on him, it's just going to run a classic teleport into the top half play.
Yep, and TP knows this. They know that once the Baron goes down, game is basically over. They're stationing Krex here to just keep an eye on it, and you know, maybe they can try for a Miracle Steal if SP does start it up.
A ward over the wall, we'll see the Sejuani, a control ward in response into the Baron pit. We'll see Chiffon clearing this one out. You can see that Sherman is not appearing on the map. He doesn't want to be spotted out because the unseen teleport right now will be the deadliest. If they can come in with a flank from the cannon, it might just be game over for them.
Yep. Alright, Cannon's going back to pushing the bot lane.
Oh, hold on here. Abyssal Voyage will be cancelled by the Hemoplague. A great fight being started by Kiwi. This could be the window that TP wants. Power Blossom into the center of it all, getting a lot of CC down, but in response, the Slicing Maelstrom does so much work, and here comes Shara into the mid line to rip them all apart. Ice Destiny joining the fray as well for good measure, and this should be game, ladies and gentlemen. You thought the Power Blossom was enough, but guess what? It's a triple kill. It's a Slicing Maelstrom, and it's the game for SP.
Baron didn't even matter. The Cannon was in the side lane. He saw a fight, instantly moved up. Slicing Maelstrom just cuts through the entire team, secures SP the win.
And like I said, the unseen teleport is the deadliest, and that's gonna be SP, my alma mater, taking the game off of TP. Sorry, man.
So
Had to be done. Had to be done.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty clean from SP, especially in the later stages of the game. I think we did point out one flaw that was, if TP got a hit and managed to stack those armor items, SP didn't really have much of a chance.
Right.
But I think SP knew that as well. They just pushed their advantage where they could. And at the end of the day, they were the better team today and came out with a win.
There was a moment there where I thought the Vladimir would have been big enough to carry the game when he landed a massive Hemo Plague on the back line. I was like, okay, this is a window for TP. They could go in for the fight with the Pot Blossom as well. But when the cannon arrived, instantly you knew game over with the Slicing Maelstrom.
Yeah, perhaps it could have been a little bit different if Vladimir was present for a few more of those fights as well. But with the pressure that Cannon was generating in the bot lane, he had to be there to answer every time. So really it was 4 weak members of TP going against 4 stronger members of SP.
With that, guys, in this group at least, SP is going to remain undefeated.
Yep.
So far, for this group at least, to reiterate, another team worthy of being called the most dominant, the team to beat, and maybe might give NYP a run for their money.
Ooh, hopefully.
Right. So with that, guys, we will be going for a short break. Stay tuned to the stream. We'll be going for, maybe a quick meal, use the washroom. We'll be back with the next set of games after this.